Hey guys, the Philippine Info Channel here. My name's Justin. Be sure to like and subscribe to Steve's channel. Yesterday, Steve and I went down to the grocery store to get some chicken and ribs. We had a barbecue here and had some of the guys over there in the group. Had a pretty good time. But when we got back from the grocery store, the electricity was off and the water was off. So I thought I'd do a video about preparedness. I did this last night, but it was real windy, and so there's a lot of wind noise, so I had to redo it today. We still got a lot of wind noise outside, so I'm inside my apartment. Now, as far as preparedness, I was a major prepper back in the U.S. I belonged to the Utah Civil Defense Group, went to all the meetings, was highly prepared for everything, and could stay in my house for 5 years with no utilities at all, and I would be good. One time it came in handy because where I was living, we had a big, heavy snowstorm Christmas Eve. Brought down trees, brought down all the power lines, transformers, everything. And we were without power for over a week and single-digit temperatures. So I was warm in my house, had no problems, helped out my neighbors. And then, of course, at the beginning of the pandemic when the store shelves were bare and or the supply chain was cut and the stores couldn't even get items, not only food but other items. I had everything I needed and I helped out my neighbors. So it was kind of good just being prepared for anything that comes along. So now that I'm older, I don't care as much. I don't need to be prepared as much because I just kind of got a different attitude now. But there's a few things that you kind of need when you're here. One thing you need to consider is water. I've got, since I was coming over here, I sat in a bog combine box. I went ahead and threw in one of my filters. It's a little hiker's filter, real small. I used to use it all over the western U.S., in the Rockies. I was in Canyonlands, desert, hiking, and you can't carry as much water as you need. So I always had the filter with me. And out there, Giardia was a concern, a small little organism. Some of my friends got it, and they had intestinal problems for a couple of years. I was running all the rivers, had my own raft for whitewater rafting. And so I was into outdoors, but water was an issue out there in the desert climate. So I have that, and I had since I was sending a box anyway, I threw in this windsock filter. It's like an airport windsock, but it's closed on the end. And you pour water down, and it just goes gravity into like a clean bucket at the bottom. And it filters down to 2 microns. So it gets pretty much everything. And then the other thing, since I've got an apartment here, I'm not moving around much. I threw in a Berkeley water filter. It's like a double boiler you put on the stove, but you put the dirty water in the top, and it's got ceramic filters, and it's gravity fed, and the clean water comes down the bottom. And if I was moving around more, I wouldn't have brought it over. I got rid of a lot of stuff in the U.S. of my prepping. But since I was coming over anyway and had a place to keep it, I thought I'd throw in at least a few of the filters that I had. Next thing you got to think about is power outages, because they're not too bad around here, and I've heard some other places in the Philippines they're more often. They happen more often, so you got to think about lights. So I've got like 4 headlamps. Some of them have the batteries, the AAA batteries, and other ones are USB recharge cable. And then I've got one flashlight that's a hand crank. So not only do I crank it to charge for the flashlight, but I also can hook up a cell phone and crank it, and it charges my cell phone. So if the cell towers are still up, but there's no electricity for the wall plug, you can recharge your cell phone. I use this at different times. One time was when I moved cross country and I had a bunch of cars I had to move one at a time. Then I'd ride Greyhound bus back to get the next car. And on the bus, cell phone battery goes down, pull out my little flashlight, hook up the cell phone, and just charge it back up again. Then I've got a little battery pack they sell in the stores for cell phones. So when I go up to Manila, I throw in that little battery pack, and it will give me 2 full charges when my phone goes down. And when I'm up there, I might be using Google Maps or other apps, and so my battery gets drained a lot faster. There's no real place to stop and plug into a wall plug to recharge it. So that battery pack's good, lightweight. I just throw it in my pants pocket. And then since I was coming over anyway, I threw in a radio that has a shortwave on it, and that's the reason I threw it in. It's got a little solar panel for charging, running the radio straight off sunlight. Or there's a hand crank where you can charge the radio that way, but it also charges auxiliary output. And it's got an external antenna plug where I can take a long wire, plug it into the radio, throw a wire up over a tree to get a good antenna to listen to shortwave. It's only a receiver, not a transmitter. I've got my ham operator's license, but I thought I'd just at least throw in this so at least you can hear what's going on around the world if the weather condition's right, and everything else is down. So these are my items of preparedness. Some people have fans that have rechargeable batteries in them. They'll plug them in, power goes down, your air conditioner doesn't work. At least you have a fan that you can run for most of the night and keep cool on you. And I forget the name, the brand name of those fans, but anyway, they do have them here. And so if you're in a place that has a lot of power outages, you might look into getting one of those to keep cool when the air conditioning is off for a power outage at night when you're trying to sleep. So that's it from my list. I'm going to be gone to the US for a couple of months, but so I won't be doing videos. I know I'm not doing a whole lot of frequent ones, but I'll be gone to the US for a couple of months, so I'll do a video when I get back. So I hope you appreciate the one today. God bless. Until next time.